What's up everyone, Rashid with RVA Performance Training. Got a good warm-up for you today. It's going to be 2 rounds, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, and our 3 movements are going to be an inchworm with a McKenzie press up. We're going to follow that up with a forward backward lunge on one side or the other, and then we're going to go into a catback. So for our inchworm plus McKenzie press up, it's going to be pronated, so we're going to be facing the ground. We're going to walk the hands down. Once we're down to the ground, we're just going to come all the way to the ground, and I want you to open up the ankles. So you see my toes right now, make sure they're opened and relaxed. Push the chest away, keep the hips in contact with the floor. Come right back down, pull those toes in, push up, walk the hands back. Okay, so one more time as we walk down, don't do the push up here, just come to the ground, open up the ankle, press up, keep the hips down on the ground, chest back, toes back in, push up, walk back. Okay, 45 seconds, just give me as many reps as you can there. Not a rush, just take your time, get a nice stretch to the hamstrings, and open up in that McKenzie press. Once you're finished there, we're gonna go into a forward backward lunge. It's gonna be 45 seconds on one side. So if you pick the right side, we're just gonna take a step, driving off of that front foot right into a reverse lunge. We're gonna stay here for 45 seconds. Nice and steady. Once you're done there, we're gonna go into a catback. So for the catback, let's go all fours. Remember, belly button to the ground, head up, and then opposite direction, head down, spine up. Just nice and slow and controlled, 45 seconds. And then once you guys are good there, when you go through that second round, the only thing that's gonna change is you're gonna hit the opposite side for those lunges. So once you get to that second round of lunges, you're gonna take that left foot forward and left foot back. Okay, so 2 rounds, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Get that done, and we've got some lower body power coming up next. All right, nice work on the warm-up for our lower body power. We're gonna have some explosive movement, some core work, and then we're gonna hit the hamstrings. For our explosive portion, we're gonna have 5 single leg broad jumps on each side, and then we're gonna follow that up with 3 sets of 5 squats plus a tuck jump, okay? Done a couple of these before. For the single leg broad jump, we can modify it, but if you're gonna go single leg broad jump, I'm not really worried about how far you get. Just get as far as you can. I want you to think about loading up. So I'm gonna start on both feet. I'm gonna shift everything back. I'll kick one leg back, load that single leg, and I'm gonna take off. When you land, make sure you land on both feet, okay? So I'm gonna load up. Nice soft landing. Notice how I unlocked my knees when I landed. So again, load that one side, land nice and soft, stand and open the hip at the top. So you can turn and just go back and forth. It's gonna be 5 reps on one side, 5 reps on the other. Once you guys are good there, it's just one set. We're gonna go into 3 sets of 5 of our squat plus a tuck jump. So for that squat, just find that natural, comfortable stance, feet usually just outside the hip, toes slightly pointed out. Give me a full squat, load up, tuck the knees, and then same thing when you land here, unlock those knees. So full squat, open all the way up at the top, then reload, tuck, land, okay? It's gonna be 3 sets of 5, take your time with those. Once we're done with those, we're gonna go right into our core piece. For our core piece, everything's gonna be on the ground. We're gonna have crunches, toe touches, and oblique taps. It's gonna be 50 reps of everything. So for the crunches, they're gonna be at 90 degrees. For 90, I just mean legs, knee joint right here should be 90 degrees. All we're gonna do is crunch up as high as we can. If you wanna go hands behind the head, that's fine. Trying to get the upper back and shoulders off the ground. Make contact with the shoulders every rep, back down to the ground. Try not to fall into this. Get that full range of motion. I know it's a crunch, so the range of motion is already pretty small, so make sure you get as much out of it as you can, okay? 50 reps there. Once you're good with those 50, we're gonna go into toe touches. So we'll straighten those legs out. We're still at 90. I know sometimes touching the toes is gonna be a little tough, so if you can't touch the toes, the ankles or shins is fine. Same thing, make sure the shoulders come back to the ground each rep. Toes, ankles, shins, all are great options. Then we're gonna plant the feet and we're gonna go into oblique taps. So for these, all I'm gonna do is crunch up slightly, so think about a hollow body position. I should think about pushing my belly button down toward the ground, slightly get that upper back off the ground, hands by the sides, that's my wallet. And we're just gonna rock back and forth, touching the heels. Okay, so my upper back stays off of the ground the whole time. It's gonna be 25 reps on the right, 25 reps on the left. That's gonna cover our core piece. All right, and then once you guys are done with that core work, we're gonna go into some hamstring work. We're gonna have banded good mornings and then reverse tabletops. Okay, so for the banded good mornings, it's gonna be 15 reps. We're gonna step inside of our band. Okay, we're hinging at the hip. So unlock the knees slightly. I'll bring my body down to 90, bring that band behind the base of the neck, keeping a flat back here. Squeeze the glutes and open at the top. My quads are engaged, I'm squeezing my butt. We're gonna go 15 reps. Remember, you can adjust the tension by putting more band in between your feet. So doubling up in here. You can double up the band if you have a really light one like a red or a blue. So get some good tension there, pretty easy movement. 15 reps unbroken. Once you're good there, we're gonna go superset this. So as soon as we're done with our 15, we're gonna hit the ground. We're gonna go into our reverse tabletop. A couple of different ways we can do this. First option I'm gonna have is we're gonna go flat feet. Hands right outside the hips really, and all I'm gonna do from here is bridge up. So kind of like a glute bridge. I'm just gonna open up to a flat tabletop position here and come right back down, okay? So it'll be 5 reps here. Another option that we can do, which is gonna be a little bit harder, is I'll pull through the heels. So I'll start with my heels down on the ground, hands by the side, and I'm pulling through the heel to get back to that position. So I'm pulling my body up and coming right back down. Okay, this one's a little bit harder, a little bit more taxing, so you can go either option there. We're gonna have 5 reps after those 15 banded good mornings. Once you guys finish up that lower body power, we're gonna get into a nice sprint conditioning piece. Right, once you're done with that lower body power, we're gonna get right into our sprint conditioning. Our sprint conditioning today is gonna be quick. It's an 8-minute EMOM, alternating 2 movements. We're gonna have up-down plank jacks and then 180 jump squats, all right? For the up-down plank jack, it's just like an up-down, but we're gonna have that plank jack. For the plank jack, once we hit that up-down, hands to the ground, both feet back, we're just gonna kick both legs out, in, back, and stand. No jump at the top, not like a burpee. So one more time, both feet back, out, in. Try to go as wide as you can when you do that plank jack, and then come back to that stand at the top, all right? So we're gonna have 45 seconds of work, so you guys get a little bit of rest. So it's gonna be 45 seconds of that up-down plank jack. You'll get 15 seconds of rest. Minute 2 starts, we're gonna go into 45 seconds of work of a 180 jump squat. So regular air squat, regular stance, feet outside the hip, toes slightly pointed out. If you wanna face one wall and have a wall behind you, we're just gonna alternate back and forth. So I'm gonna squat first, all the way down, hop, land, okay? 45 seconds here, pretty quick movement, pace it out. You'll get 15 seconds of rest. We're gonna have 4 sets of those 2 movements. Once you're finished up there, we're gonna cool down and stretch it out. Nice work on that EMOM. For our stretch today, we're gonna have 3 movements. We're gonna go on a 1-minute walk, just get the heart rate down, get a little bit of breathing in. We're gonna go into 10 bird dogs and then a 1-minute child's pose. So take a walk, grab a sip of water, bring the heart rate back down, deep breaths. Once you're done with the walk, we're gonna go into 10 bird dogs, so we'll hit the ground. All 4s. One thing I will say that helps with these, I've noticed a couple of times, if you guys are set up here, it's much easier to stay stable through the hip if my knees are in line with my hands. So my hands should be right under the shoulder. I see some people do bird dogs where their legs are too close together, right? So make sure my knees are spread apart and everything here is pretty stable and square, all right? Opposite hand and foot are gonna come out and you really don't wanna have any twists through the body. So I'm gonna reach towards the opposite wall, straighten that leg, come right back in. Same thing on the other side, reach and stretch into a straight line. We don't wanna think about reaching up. There's no reason to be up here. It really needs to be straight and flat. Your body should be in a nice straight line. So 5 on the right, 5 on the left. And then we'll finish it up with a child's pose. So we'll open up those ankles and we're just gonna walk ourselves down. Spread the knees out to get the hips real low. From here, we're gonna hold for a minute. Try to let the body relax. If you wanna do a few seconds or 30 seconds to the right, 30 seconds to the left, that's fine too. Up and over. Same thing on the other side. Just trying to relax into this pose. Definitely focus on breathing when you're in that child's pose. Try to sink those hips as low as we can. One more thing you can do here, if you do have super tight hips, you can think about pushing yourself and actively pushing yourself back into that position. So instead of going all the way to the ground, you can focus more on the hip and just drive those hips down and hold here. and you'll get more of a stretch through the hip. And if you're more concerned with the upper body, we can bring the body down and try to let the forehead get to the ground. So a couple of different ways there. Finish up those stretches, and that's all we got for today. Nice job.